When we think of a gang, many of us will conjure up the image of uneducated, violent young men living in the shadows of society. But what if those same young men turn out to be university educated with mainstream careers and aspirations? With me now is Svetlana Stevenson, author of Gangs of Russia, From the Streets to the Corridors of Power, to offer a unique insight into the darker side of Russia. Svetlana, how entrenched is gang culture in Russia?
If we are talking about groups of young people who belong to the neighborhood, who have their own long-standing conflicts, then it is very entrenched. Now, when it comes to criminal gangs, there are areas, particularly more deprived urban areas, where you will find territorial gangs which are involved in organized criminality such as drugs or small-scale racketeering. This tradition of organized criminality emerged at the end of the 1980s, beginning of the 1990s.
So how does organised criminality work exactly? Talk me through the business side of it. How do they make money?
Some of them are involved increasingly into the sale of illegal drugs. Some groups of young people have more sort of territorial ad hoc strategies. For example, they organize illegal parking lots where they force car owners to put their cars into these parking lots and take money under sort of an implicit or explicit threat to their cars. They racketeer taxi drivers or small bus companies, so are involved in this sort of time-honored tradition of local racket. So these are the main sources of their income.
How much would you estimate the dark economy to be worth in Russia, and how much filters back into the mainstream economy?
If we are talking about serious organized crime, some estimates put it at about 50% of the whole economy. Now, here we are talking about major organized crime business such as money laundering or weapons and control over various illegal industries such as trafficking of women, and so on and so forth. So this is a major factor in the Russian economy.
So if this impacts every part of society, what's its impact on business?
Things have changed since the 1990s. In the 1990s, there was a major racket organized by criminal associations. Towards the 2000s, many mafia bosses were imprisoned, many legalized themselves, and instead of them, we're having control by representatives of the Russian state, mostly FSB, Federal Security Service, and also the police. They are involved often in racketeering or in provision of various services. Companies pay for getting information about tax inspections or are helped to cash in their incomes.
But surely the government have been quite proactive of late, trying to weed out corruption. So how has this slipped through the net?
There are attempts to weed out corruption, but corruption is completely systemic in Russia. A person who was involved in the sale of government property was imprisoned first, but then after a couple of months was released. So this is just an illustration of the futility of these attempts to weed out corruption, and the same is happening at the local level.
So would you say the apparent level of organised crime deter foreign investment or businesses wanting to get involved in Russia?
When it comes to businesses, especially foreign businesses, the most important thing is to have good relationship with the state authorities, and there may be kickbacks, but these kickbacks are paid largely to representatives of the police or of the local government.
How is this impacting the wider economy at a time when oil prices have collapsed and the economy is suffering?
This represents a tax on business, which of course is very detrimental. It is a widely acknowledged problem, but there is no political will, I would say, to actually do anything about it.
So for companies looking to do business with Russia, what should they really take away from this? What should they be aware of?
Basically have powerful patrons who can protect them from organized crime, but also who can facilitate their business. Multinational companies, this is not particularly a problem, but when it comes to small and medium-sized business, this is a must.